Hello again, I'm KrissieDeathy, and this is Krissie Reads once again, and today I'm going to read you the third chapter that I wrote for Sonamy. I will leave a link to it in the description. You guys can read it, and I highly recommend you guys going to read all the other Sonamy fanfictions that were written by all the awesome people who were involved, because they are very good. I enjoyed them greatly. I might actually read a few of them here as well. Okay, so this is chapter 3, and the theme for it is Chao, which was super fun to do. It's very difficult for me to decide on how to write this one as well. Okay. So Sonic had come to Little Big Planet with his Chao Nibbles. The two were out for an adventure. Sonic had always liked Little Big Planet and had decided to bring his Chao with him to see it. Sonic had been to Little Big Planet several times before. He had not yet managed to explore all of Little Big Planet, however. He brought Nibbles to a flower field he had found on a previous venture. Nibbles loved it. Sonic stretched out on a nice piece of soft grass under a shady tree. He smiled as he watched the Chao explore. Nibbles quickly disappeared behind some bushes. When it did not come back a few minutes later, Sonic became concerned. Nibbles, Sonic called as he went through the bushes. He saw Nibbles go through earlier. "Where'd you go, little buddy?" He checked around for any sign of disturbance that could have been caused by Nibbles. The Chao loved to chew on things. The Chao had done it since the day it had hatched, and it was a habit that Sonic couldn't get it to stop. "Chao!" The chirp made Sonic smile as he zipped over to the source. "There you are," he exclaimed a second later as he saw Nibbles playing with a stick. Nibbles smiled happily as it flew up into the air. Nibbles flew over to a large rock and tapped the top of it with the stick. "What did you find, little buddy?" Sonic walked around to examine the rock. His eyes widened as he realized the other side of the rock wasn't round. It was curved and with a flat base about a foot off the ground. It was like a strange coffin of sorts. The rock had patterns and symbols carved into it. It was obviously a language of sorts, but Sonic wasn't one to translate languages unless it involved food. On the flat base of the rock lay a young girl dressed in odd clothes. Her fur was a soft cotton candy pink, her clothes were long and wavy. Her hands were clasped neatly together just below her breast. Thick gold rings adorned her wrist. Her clothes reminded Sonic of what priestesses or shrine girls wore in movies. It gave the girl an ancient feeling about her. Nibbles chirped happily as it landed beside the girl laying inside. It poked her with the stick, but she didn't move. "Nibbles!" Sonic yanked the stick away. "Don't poke her. You'll wake her." He gave her a concerned look. "If she isn't dead, that is." Nibbles pouted. It wanted to play with the lady. Sonic took a deep breath. He didn't like the idea of touching an unconscious person, much less a dead person. He carefully unfolded her hands on her stomach and checked for a pulse. To Sonic's surprise, there was a pulse. It was faint and slow, as if it was about to stop within a few minutes. "She needs a hospital." Sonic went to scoop her up. He was the fastest thing alive. But if he didn't get her to the hospital quick, it would be too late. "Nibbles, hold on tight to me," Sonic ordered. If he left the Chao here, it would fly off somewhere and get lost. Nibbles grabbed onto the girl. Sonic began to race off. The closest hospital was a country away. Sonic grasped as he tripped over a root. He kissed the dirt and groaned. Nibbles and the girl went flying and landed into a lake. Sonic yelled as he raced over. He sucked at swimming and hoped the lake wasn't as deep as it looked. "Nibbles!" Sonic cried as he tried to find them. The Chao emerged from the water with a gasp. "Nibbles!" Sonic exclaimed as he raced towards the Chao with tears in his eyes. The girl then rose up from the water. She coughed up water as her eyes fluttered open. They were deep emerald green. She looked around confused before turning to Nibbles. The Chao was having trouble swimming. She grabbed the Chao and began swimming towards the shore. You're awake, Sonic stated as he waded over to her. He was standing on his tiptoes. Who are you? She asked as they made their way to shore. I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. He gave his signature thumbs up. That little guy is Nibbles. You? He was happy to be getting out of the water. She bit her lip as she saw it. She looked around confused. Where are we? Little Big Planet. Sonic extended his hand to help her out of the lake. She took it and looked around. Nibbles and I found you unconscious on some rock back there. I was rushing to take you to a hospital when I tripped and, well, you two flew in the lake. Sonic turned slightly red at the embarrassment. I don't recognize this place, she stated as she slowly walked around the field. She looked at the flowers curiously. Do you know your name? Sonic asked. She rubbed her temple, her face crunched up in pain as she tried to remember. She shook her head. It's all so vague. Chao! Nibbles flew up to her and tugged on one of her quills. She smiled at the Chao. She patted its head finally. Such a cute little Chao. She plucked a fruit off a bush and handed it to the Chao. Nibbles, right? Yep, Sonic nodded with a smile after shaking the water out of his fur. Do you want to go to the hospital? I think a doctor might be able to help you. Plus, the Little Big Planet is only around for a week in Mobius. There's no telling what happens when Little Big Planet disappears. She nodded. Can I see where you found me first? Chao! Nibbles exclaimed excitedly, flailing its arms and legs about. It grabbed the girl by her arm and dragged her off. Sonic sighed. Nibbles was always excitable. The girl rubbed her hand softly over the carvings. Tears formed in her eyes as she looked at the rock. Are you okay? Sonic placed his hand on her shoulder. She looked at him. Sonic recognized that look. It was the look of someone who lost. She quickly wiped the tears from her eyes before they could fall. She stood up and fiddled with her fingers. Can we go to the hospital you mentioned earlier? I think I'd like to see that doctor now. I can have us there in a few seconds if you don't mind me carrying you. And Nibbles, Sonic gestured to the Chao who was flying around the girl's head in circles. I don't mind. Sonic hoisted her up and Nibbles clung to the girl. Sonic raced off, and this time he didn't trip. And that is the end of this one. I think it's actually probably the longest one I wrote for Sonamy. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually kind of want to take this little AU further, but I'm not sure yet. I'll probably do it later. But thank you guys so much for watching. Bye bye!